Hi, it's Bradie here from Sparrow Quilt Company. In a prior video, I was telling you that there are so many different ways to piece a half square triangle, and I showed you the traditional method of doing so. Now I want to show you a different method that I sometimes use. It's going to require some glue, and it's going to require the ideal seam guides. If you've got the 15-inch one, that is perfect because you can get a few extra squares on there instead of just one at a time. And if you have two of the seam guides, that's better yet. The first thing we're going to do is apply our glue, and I'm just going to put a small dab at opposite corners. I just want to hold my two layers of fabric together while I am doing this process. I want to line those up as best I can so that they're square to one another, right sides together, of course. And I'm just going to touch those quickly with the iron that sets the glue. And I am using the Seam-Align glue. It's just got a nice narrow tip, and it applies that glue in a nice pinpoint for me. Now what I'm going to do is you've got to peel the layer of plastic off the back of your ideal seam guide so that the sticky layer is exposed. And I'm going to line this up point to point on my square. So I just want the fabric to attach to that sticky layer on the back side. Come on, glue, hold. And then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and I am going to sew a 1/4 inch seam with my presser foot. And if you had more than one square, you could attach them onto your seam guide here as well. So let's just go ahead and sew our 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm just butting up against the ruler. That is what is keeping me a 1/4 inch away from that marking line. Not the marking line, but I've used a ruler to be my marking line this time. All right, cut those threads. Now I need to do the other side. So what I'm going to do is place my second seam guide right up against the first seam guide. And I'm going to remove this one. Now I can sew that other 1/4 inch seam down the other side. Keep forgetting to hold my threads. And you see how that ruler is right up against the edge of my presser foot there? That's what is giving me my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Pull that away. Now the really smart part is to leave the ruler on there and use it to do your cut. So I'm just cutting from tip to tip, and then I am going to be left with 2 half square triangles. And I didn't have to mark a thing. But don't cut off your corners. Oops. Well, I hope you found that information helpful. I will see you next time.